Good morning. Today we will discuss regarding interference of light waves. So first of all, we will see what is interferometry. The phenomenon of interaction of light is called interference. Under ordinary conditions, the wave nature of light is not apparent, but when two waves interact with each other, the wave effect is visible and it can be made useful for measuring applications. For example, when light is made to interfere, it produces a pattern of dark bands which corresponds to a very accurate scale of divisions. This particular characteristics of this entity is the unit value of the scale, which is exactly one half wavelength of light used. As this length is constant, it can be used as a standard of measurement. Use of interferometry technique enables the determination of size of end standards, for example, slip gauges and end bars, directly in terms of wavelength of light source. Based on this, the wavelength standards have been established in 1960. Wavelength of orange light from krypton 86 spectrum was used. So, in short, when the light waves interact with each other, the wave effect is visible and thus used of for measuring purpose. The phenomenon of interaction of light is called interference. Now the next point is monochromatic light source. For length measurement by interferometry, monochromatic light source is used. A ray of light having a single frequency and wavelength produces monochromatic light. It should be noted that white light cannot be used for interferometry because white light is a combination of all colors of spectrum. The selection of proper source for an application depends on the results to be obtained by interferometer cost and convenience. So mercury 198, cadmium, krypton 86, thallium, helium, potassium, zinc, sodium, and laser beams are used as a light sources for interferometry. So the light is a form of energy being propagated by electromagnetic waves, which may be represented by a sine curve. So you can see the sine curve or the sine wave of light. So different elements are shown in a diagram, that is amplitude, crest, trough and wavelength. So Huygens theory proposes light as a wave motion propagated as an electromagnetic wave of sinusoidal form, or it is a sine wave of light. The maximum disturbance of wave is called amplitude. So that is shown in a diagram. What is amplitude? It is a maximum disturbance, and velocity of transmission is called frequency. The higher points of the wave are called crest. So you can see the crest of the sine wave, and lower points are called the troughs. So you can see the bottom part of the sine wave, it is a trough. The distance between two crests or two troughs is called wavelength. So carefully see what is wavelength. So it is a distance between two crests or two troughs, and the time taken by light in covering one wavelength is called time period. Now, to observe interference of light or light wave, the following conditions should be there. The sources must be coherent, that is, they must remain a constant phase with respect to each other. The sources must be monochromatic, that is, of a single wavelength, and the superposition principle must apply. So, these are the conditions to observe interference of light. So, the sources must maintain a constant phase, and the light source that should be monochromatic of the of a single wavelength. Now, examples of coherence are laser light, small spot on tungsten filament, wavefront. Most light is incoherent. For example, two separate light bulbs, then two headlight beams on a car, and also the sun is basically incoherent. So in a diagram you can see the wavefront at t equal to 0 and at new position of wavefront at time t. Now, interference is the combination of two or more waves to form a composite wave based on a principle of superposition. So, you can see the different waveforms. So, you can see in a diagram B. So, this type of interference, it is called constructive interference. And in a diagram C, carefully see the waveforms, two waveforms. So that indicates the destructive interference. Now the two waves are in phase. So see the position of two waves in a diagram A. So that is indicated by green and red color. So that is that two waves are in a phase. Then in a second diagram you can see the two waves are out of phase by 180 degree, you can see. And third diagram indicates the two waves that are in between. Now we will see what is constructive interference and what is destructive interference. So the constructive interference, in that the two waves that have the same phase relationship and frequency. So that should be in phase and it should be and the same frequency. So example is two waves that have overlapping crest leads to a doubling of the amplitude of the wave. So you can see the diagram here, diagram B. So two amplitudes that are added, that is called a constructive. Now destructive interference. So the two waves that are out of phase or out of steps. Example is one wave or one wave's crest meets another wave's trough. So the waves will cancel each other or cancel out. So you can see the diagram C here. So it is a destructive interference. So it will be cancelled. So this is the constructive and the destructive. So top diagram, it is a constructive interference. You can see how the amplitudes that are added for the two waves. So amplitude will be A plus B, and here amplitude will be cancelled out in a destructive interference. So it will be 0. A constant phase relationship is maintained in both constructive and destructive interference when the frequency of both waves is the same. We therefore say that the two sources that produce the waves are mutually coherent. So that is the meaning of coherent. So the mutual coherence, if the two waves that are always constructive, that is constructive means that is are in phase, then always destructive, one half wave out of phase at the when the two waves are at the same points, and the two waves that will maintain a constant phase relationship, then it will be mutual coherence. Now we will see the different interference patterns. So this is the first type. So S1 and S2, these are the two slits through which the light it is passed. It is a single light that is passed. So the constructive interference occurs at the center point. So you can see the P, that is the center point. The two waves travel the same distance. So S1P is equal to S2P. So this distance it is same. So therefore they arrive in phase. So it is a constructive interference. Then you can see another example. The upper wave has to travel farther than the lower wave. Farther means it is a longer distance. So this wave it is longer than the bottom wave. The upper wave travels one wavelength farther. Therefore, the waves arrive in phase. So there is a only difference of one wavelength. So that two waves are in phase. So you will get a bright fringe or the bright area at point Q. So these waves are in phase because the difference between the two waves it is one wavelength. So you will get the bright spot or the bright area at point Q. Then at point R. So the upper wave travels one half of a wavelength farther than the lower wave. Now the difference between the two waves it is a one half wavelength. The trough of the bottom wave overlaps the crest of the upper wave. You can clearly see in a diagram. So this is a destructive interference. So due to that, a dark band or the fringe occurs at point R. Now we will see what is principle of interference. If two rays of same wavelength meet at some point, mutual interference occurs, and natural interference depends on phase of two waves at their meeting point. Or when two rays of the same wavelength meet at some point, a mutual interference occurs, and the nature of interference will depend upon the phases of two waves at their meeting point. That is the principle of interference. So you can see the two diagrams. The top diagram indicates the two waves of different amplitudes that are in phase, and the bottom diagram, that is two waves of different amplitudes out of phase by 180 degree. If two rays are in same phase, then resulting intensity will be sum of two intensities. If two rays are out of phase, then resulting intensity will be the difference of two intensities. If two rays having same amplitude are in the same phase, then resultant will be twice and result will be bright spot. So this is due to the top diagram. Now, if two rays having same amplitude are out of phase, then resultant will be 0 and result will be dark spot. So, in short, if the waves are in same phase, they will reinforce each other and the resulting intensity will be the sum of the two intensities. However, if two waves are out of phase, the resulting intensity will be the difference of two. If both the waves having same amplitude are in phase, the resulting amplitude and hence the intensity becomes twice and the result will be a bright spot. So that is a top diagram. However, if these two waves with same amplitude are out of phase, see the bottom diagram, the resultant intensity will be 0 and the result will be the dark spot. The interference can occur only when two light rays are coherent. So, coherent means the two rays maintain their phase relationship for an appreciable length of time. Means it is a that source it is a or that rays are coherent. This is possible only when the two rays are originated from the same point of light source at the same time. Now, this is a Young's double slit experiment. The narrow slits S1 and S2 act as sources of waves. The waves emerging from the slits originate from the same wavefront and therefore are always in phase. So you can see in a diagram. So the first screen and the second screen, and at the right hand side you can see the maximum minimum means it is a dark or the light and dark bands. So you can see the diagram of method of producing interference pattern. So you can see there is a slit A on a first screen, and in a second screen there are two slits, slit B and slit C, and there is at the right left hand side you can see the light source, and on the right hand side you can see the points P, M, O, N, Q, and at point P there is a light band, M dark band, at point O light band, at N there is a dark band. So it is a alternate light and dark band that will occur. Now the light passes through a very narrow slit A and then through the slit B and slit C, which are close together. If the path slit B, that is a top slit, that is BO and CO are having equal wavelength and the rays on these paths are in phase. So OB is equal to OC. Then the constructive interference takes place producing maximum intensity, that is light or bright band. Considering another point M, you can see the point M at the right hand side. on the screen such that Cm minus Bm is equal to 1 half lambda, that is 2n plus 1 lambda by 2 when n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. for next alternate points. So it is a odd wavelength. 1 half lambda means it is a odd wavelength. Thus, at the screen, the waves will be out of phase, that is, the resultant intensity will be zero, and a destructive interference takes place, producing total darkness at point M and at point N. So you will see at point M and N the dark band. At point P and Q, the path difference will be one wavelength, and the rays again will be in phase and bright band will be produced, that is 2n lambda by 2 when n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. for next alternate points called even wavelength. Thus, a series of bright and dark bands are produced. These bands are known as interference bands. So this is a method of producing interference pattern, and in this slide how the interference pattern it is produced and how the alternate light and dark bands that are formed, that are shown in this slide. So this is regarding the interference of light or interferometry. Thank you.